Hello.
Hey,
We're
what's
live.
going on?
We're here. You here?
Got a little music going. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the DMCA free music.
Nice chill vibes, right?
Yeah.
For a non-chill day.
I am flabbergasted.
Aghast even.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can't even have an episode come out without Disney changing something in our conversation.
So, if you haven't, it's brand new. Oh, we got Darren in here. We got everybody in here. Dano's here. Nate's here. Chandler's here. Jazz trombone. Sarah. We got so many people. Henry's here. You can see I hide some of my things I've got off to the side. So we dropped a video today. Oh, I'm on my camera. We dropped a video today about all of the changes that have happened for STARCRUISER. It had been 4 months since we had an episode dedicated to STARCRUISER. And you know why it felt sooner? Because we have an episode that we talked about STARCRUISER and we never released it. And I think that's why we were like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, I think that was where we had like a STARCRUISER discussion and it didn't come to fruition.
Nope. So it had been 4 months since we had released a STARCRUISER episode, and we're like, you know what? We'd been planning this for a while. We're like, it's the 1 year anniversary of STARCRUISER. Let's be critical because we're generally pretty positive about STARCRUISER.
Well, and the thing is like, it was a little bit after than the actual 1 year anniversary because of the timing of our episodes.
Right, our schedule.
So we were excited. We were ready to have our conversation. And then the biggest news.
The day it drops, the day the episode drops, we've got a big change to the STARCRUISER schedule. So it's essentially only going to be operating 2, maybe 3 times a week starting in October.
I want to say it's what I was saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm happy for the news
because that's literally what we were talking about was if they had paced themselves from the beginning, it would have been, you know, the demand for, or the supply wouldn't have been as abundant, so the demand would have stayed there for a more constant period of time.
Right.
You wouldn't have seen that, you know, star shine bright and then dwindle.
Yeah, because I mean, it was sold out for the first 4 or 5 months when it first went on sale. And then as we ticked through, because it opened in March, as we ticked through like May into June, I think we started seeing dates open up a little more. And then by the time we got to, I think, August, you could pretty much like book the next week if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And since then is like, okay, you want to go tomorrow? You could go tomorrow. Like there's been more availability. So yeah, I think if they had limited supply, we would be shocked by the news. And honestly, I'm like literally in no way shocked by what happened. Oh, we need to catch up.
Yeah.
The Princess of Genovia. This guy? Is it because I've got my 90s clips in? My early 2000s clips?
Crafted. JPF.
Everybody's in here. We're not sitting by each other. Wait, I don't think Kraft has ever been in one of our live streams.
So here's our normal situation.
But we're pretty close to each other.
And then if we figure it out, we could find that middle.
Oh.
Somewhere out there.
Somewhere. I've got my little hand. JPF says, Mike, never going again. You could have gone in May,
Yeah.
Mike. That's all we're saying.
Well, I think that, so from this news, again, there's the naysayers and I don't even know. I don't even feel like there's been that much discussion on it. Like, what does it mean? I think that's more the discussion is what does it mean? I think it's a smarter move.
Breaking news PDA on Princess. As soon as he touched hands with me, I was like, oh my gosh.
See, this news has got me all like turned upside down.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Who are you?
what were we talking about? It's you got, yeah.
We're talking about the naysayers. So like, why is this happening? That's what everybody wants to know.
I think it was obvious to me. It was obvious to me since like the first time they started doing like cutting back. It's just there's that time now. There's that maintenance time, training time, just periods for other things to do between those high demand trips, those voyages.
Right.
Like that's to me, it just makes so much sense.
Yeah. Like if you look at like the basic economics of it, like supply was up here and demand was down here. If you lower the supply, you're getting closer and you're finding that balance. And it's brand new. It's been open a year. So they're still figuring things out. But the other thing is people are like, why didn't, like one of the big pieces of feedback that I'm getting on my stuff is like, why didn't they offer discounts instead? And it was like, if you have an overabundance of supply, lessen the supply first to try to balance that out. And if you still can't, then maybe you discount the experience.
Yeah.
But right now they could still get full price and just have less offerings than rather discounting it and trying to, you're making less money. You're still burning all through the week, every single week with less margins, or you go down to 2 voyages a week, you have higher margins and you have more, it's filled out more. It's a better experience. So they're trying to change the narrative on their side as to this is not, we're still learning. We're just adjusting. And that was the official, what's it called that went out today? The official release that went out today is like, we're still learning.
Yeah.
Now that it's been open for a year. And so we're just taking that for what it is.
So kind of go, Danny, get out of here, Danny. Treasure Planet. It's a good movie, but Amanda, I wish they'd opened the STARCRUISER as just a hotel in between. I think the thing is, how would you kick people out?
Because they have it pretty locked down right now.
Because if you're doing Friday to Sunday, and
Friday to Sunday, Sunday to Tuesday.
Yeah,
is pretty much the schedule now.
There's a time period where you're kind of like, here's another voyage. I'm doing quotes, but we're gonna kick you out.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be a lot harder to as just a hotel.
Yeah,
and then again, I think that kind of it'll take away from one, the exclusivity of going and doing the whole trip, and with that constant influx of people, you're not getting that cleanup. You're not getting that time to like what I'm thinking they're using it for.
So that's been an interesting point. That's another piece of what I'm seeing people talk about is like, well, what are they going to do with the downtime? Is it maintenance? What is it? To me, really, it's just cost savings. Like, yes, they have more time to do maintenance, so they're not having to like constantly staff people 24/7, which they're having to do right now.
Well, and okay, so you kind of on that, how you're saying there's typically 3 voyages a week.
Right.
Right. And it carries over.
Right. 3 to 4. Right.
Yeah. So 3 voyages a week, it costs X number for each voyage, no matter what.
Like
if there's
your operating
one
cost.
person or 100 people.
Yeah.
Just the operating cost. And this is what you got to think. This is just to keep the lights on running that show for one person. Mm-hmm. This is what it's going to cost. If they remove one of those shows, one of those voyages, now you only have 2 that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
And if you get those voyages that the one person, the 10 people, the 15, 20 people from that one that was closed onto, one of the 2, it makes too much sense. Like the fact that there's a question of why they're doing it.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
But people also don't obsess over this stuff like we do.
Yes,
we talk about these things and speculate all the time. But yeah, they're literally cutting their...
Dano, that's an interesting idea.
What, very expensive parties? Oh, maybe we should have a party on the STARCRUISER. Might actually be less than... Dano... Just know that throwing a party for San Diego Comic-Con
is what's going on.
Quite pricey.
But I mean, so again, we're just theorizing. We're just thinking.
Yeah, they're cutting costs by 30 to 50% per week with this change.
We are piecing together these puzzle pieces.
Right.
we have new voyages coming out in October
Yes.
that are only 2 a week.
Yes.
What could they possibly put in that empty slot? If somebody wanted to have a party,
We do a Mosh Isley.
I mean, the thing is
Can you
like
imagine?
that is viable, because if you're saying, hey, I want to rent it out, a whole voyage.
Could you imagine getting married on the Halcyon?
So, I mean, it's just,
I mean, we
and there's
held
another
hands.
voyage that they get to fill out because they know they could sell it out.
Yeah, we held hands on stream. It's
I
only a
mean,
matter of time before we renew our
this
vows.
is just the creative juices, the ideas popping out of my head, but it just made sense.
Yeah.
It just made sense for them to go down to 2, make sure that they're not stretching our cast members out, the crew out. That's the major thing.
And yeah, that's a huge piece of it. So let's focus on the cast and the crew for a little bit, because they give so much of themselves. And yes, they're not working every single voyage every single week, right? Like we typically will work like 2 voyages a week, maybe 3 voyages a week, and then they take time off. But if it's taxing, it's really taxing. Like when we go on STARCRUISER, we feel changed, and we feel this like really lasting impact in relationships with the characters that we've been voyaging with. And if we're
Honda, Mike's going off.
Oh,
sorry,
God.
I'm distracting.
I know you are. I'm trying to talk to you and you're just like But if we're having those impactful relationships with these characters and they're doing that voyage after voyage after voyage, that's emotionally taxing on them. And I think having this kind of break is going to be good for them mentally. Now, what I fear is because they're cutting voyages, just straight up cutting voyages, that's less hours for these actors, for the crew members, for everybody to be working.
Yeah.
There's a lot smaller supply of hours that can be worked.
Yeah.
And so what is that going to mean?
I think that is more hurtful to the overall experience, because basically what it can mean is, hey, I'm not going to go work over there because you only get part-time hours. So I'm going to stay at the parks because I'll get moved around. I'll get to work full-time, get a full paycheck.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to have the cast members there, like the ones that are committed, that are enthusiastic about it, to give us that experience. That, like, hey, it's not worth it. Financially, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be the ones there because they're the experience. That is the experience. So
it's the cast.
that's
and the
where I
crew.
think it'll be more hurtful. So it's like Disney has to make sure that they, take care of that.
Yeah. That is literally the only part of me that is frustrated with this change, is the impact that it's going to have on the people that work on the ship.
Yeah.
It's less hours, which means they're likely going to have to cut people. Or people are just going to walk away because they can't. That's not sustainable for them,
exactly.
Like you're saying. But I adore absolutely everybody that works on that ship, behind the scenes, on stage, booking it, everything. Like, I just adore everybody that works on it, because everybody has that same passion for it. And to have to like walk away from that because the demand hasn't been as great, it stinks.
And hopefully it's just it's that learning period, and then, okay, they're adjusting to make sure that we could set themselves up, or they could set themselves up for a better future. I think that's what they should have done at the beginning, and been able to open up if they needed to, or kind of choose their route. But they went,
I think they
full
were like,
out.
this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to book it. And it was like that.
But it wasn't as much as they thought that it was.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it was big news, and it was one of those things that we just, we were honestly thinking about going live yesterday. We were like, well, should we go live? We're like, no, we have an episode that we're literally talking about STARCRUISER and all this, referencing these things.
Right. And also, yesterday, it was a rumor. One website posted it, saying that there had been an official announcement and there hadn't been an official announcement. I called as soon as I heard the news. I called, I bugged, I was like, can you ask around? I got nothing. It was leaked early and it shouldn't have been. And that's just kind of the nature of the business.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
I think the hard part is there was that moment of where like we almost knew.
As soon as I read it, I was like, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Like without knowing for sure, I'm like, I 100%
I believe
this.
and that's to me, I think that was the part is like sometimes you'll see things and you're kind of like, that's not true. It's not believable. It's not, I just don't believe it.
Right.
But then there are times when you read stuff and you're kind of like, yeah, I think that might be, and then you find out that it was.
Right. This was the best case scenario for STARCRUISER making any changes. In my mind, this was it, which is just reduce the number of voyages. And this is what I've been like saying for months and months and months as I've been booking this. Most people want to book weekends. You got spring break, you maybe got summer vacation, but most people want to book weekends. And so that's what they're doing now is they're booking weekends. And I was like, okay, go down to weekend voyages, save that money in the middle of the week when you're not making as much, but keep the experience the same because the experience is so absolutely special. And they've crafted it in such a way that it makes you feel and evolve and grow with the ship so much in those 45 hours that you're there. Don't change that yet. It's too early to change that.
Yeah.
Eventually the time will come and it will evolve. We'll add a day, we'll lose a day, we'll change it in some way, but like don't do that yet because it's too early. So when I read it, I was like, yeah, I'm like, I believe it. It's true. And then because it leaked on like a Monday evening, I was like, okay, it's leaking on a Monday evening. I had been seeing on the website that there was like some minor changes on the calendar on their website. I noticed this like probably a week or two ago. And I was like, Steven, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen soon. Things are changing. Let me get all of everybody that wanted to book within the next period. Like, let me get their information up to date. Let's get everybody ready. I was like, this one's not going to fool me. I'm going to be ready for this one. Because I had somebody that I booked today had been on my list since February of last year.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago. So they were trying to book their trip like a year and a half out. And I finally got them booked today. I was like, I am so happy to be writing you this email. You've been on the top of my list for so long. But I could tell it was going to happen just because the little calendar things on the website, the fact that this news leaked yesterday, and then typically if big Disney news is going to drop, it's happening on Tuesdays. So I was like, I'm going to get up early. I was working late last night to like catch up on stuff to this point. So I'm like, okay, if it does drop, then I'm not stressing about what I didn't do on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I woke up before the phone lines opened this morning and I checked and looked at the calendar and I was like, yeah, it's out. Let's go. Called. I was like, oh, hey, you guys know who I am. Let's book some STARCRUISERs.
So yeah, Hollywood checking in. There's Kurt. There's no shortage of high quality performers willing to take a gig like this.
And that's where.
Well, and I think the thing, Kurt, is yes, right. There are actors, great actors, great performers, but we shouldn't treat it as you're a dime a dozen, right? Like there's, I think, love that gets put into these characters by those performers, and we can't just say, oh, we're gonna fill you, fill your spot if you don't, do what we say. It's like, no, I think that's where, again, Disney needs to appreciate those performers,
and that's where
because there is love put into it, not just like, feed me my line type of thing.
Yeah,
because these actors like learn people's name, like learn this different experience, this new experience where you're ad-libbing, improv, giving this, emotional performance, connecting with cast day in, day out, remembering names. And, that's a lot for just to be like, oh, okay, let's just replace you. It's like, you're not going to be able to get that same experience, just like that.
Just by picking somebody up and putting them in for like a week. I know. But the problem is like everybody wants to work for Disney.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to work for Disney, and because of that, these actors in the mind of Disney, become disposable.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because, especially with StarCruiser and it's immersive, like you said, they know you, they build these relationships with you because they truly do. It is not a situation where you feel like they care about you and they're just really good at acting. Like they truly do care about the people that come in and visit that ship.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what others are saying too. Is it's the cast and crew that kind of really do make that experience and make it personal. So
yeah. Chris is asking if the cast members are equity. That could change the perspective. I believe they are equity, right? I think they are. Let's see. Crafted. Do y'all have discount codes for Roosevelt's? We do. You know what? I was thinking one of us should have worn Roosevelt's tonight, and we just didn't.
But go first time. Go to use code Scoundrel.
Yes, code Scoundrel at rsvlts.com. You get 20% off your first order, or as Deanna likes to say, with a new email address. Just create brand new accounts. But yeah, Roosevelt's is wonderful. I watched all of your Roosevelt's from like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Recently.
Well, because you have to do I don't like them.
special.
Yeah, I don't like to get them all like
your Spirit
frilly
jerseys
or
and your
whatever.
Roosevelt's, which is like essentially it's
My
literally
good-
what you're wearing
my
right
good
now.
clothes.
I will craft it. Actually, it should be in the description. I think there's a link and the code in the description of the live.
Yeah.
It's in like all of our videos. Hero says the cast, the crew can't be replaced. What they do every day is high skilled position that goes beyond just acting. If it wasn't, we wouldn't fall in love with them. So it's absolutely true. They are the magic.
So, no, I mean, again, it's
not. No.
It was a good. That was not in the description.
My bad. We'll update that.
I think it was a good first step into Disney figuring out what they're going to do next. But with that, I don't see a discount. I may say it now and then eat my words tomorrow.
We
But
even said this in our video.
Yeah, I think the discounts they're going to hold that for a little bit just to see.
They will.
And I mean, again, with the large groups, they're that maybe that's how they're kind of morphing it.
Yeah. No. When we recorded the episode, we were like, we even said it in the episode. We're like,
This
could shut down tomorrow, and then we just won't even release this episode. It didn't shut down.
No.
Halftime. It shut down halftime. It takes little naps.
The other part of it, and I was just remembering right now. The other thing that is, I'm happy that we were able to go, was we got to experience this full experience, right? I know people say, oh, what if they changed it and they lessened it? Like, it's going to be a different experience. So I'm glad I got to experience this version of StarCruiser.
Yeah.
If there is ever a change to it, we're still going to go to it. We're going to go check it out and see what it is. But
for research,
it's going to be one of those things that if it's changed, hopefully they're able to hold a candle to what we had. If not, like, it's going to be one of those always like, oh, I'm so glad I was able to go when I went.
Yeah. Let's enjoy it for what it is while we have it, and just go all the time. Go for every month from now till the end of the year.
Whoa.
No, our bank accounts would never. We're gonna have to be sneaking on that ship and washing dishes.
Yeah.
To afford that. It's like I said, I'm not at all surprised by the news. This is what I was hoping for. And in terms of discounts, they're not going to do discounts. It's going to be at least a month before we get any kind of discounts. But one of the other things that did change with this, so it's 2 voyages a week and then 3 voyages a week on holiday weeks. So like Thanksgiving week, Christmas week.
When they know they got you.
The other thing, and this is like, to me, this is bigger to me, and nobody else is going to care about this as much as I do, is that they moved the final payment date from 90 days before your voyage to 30 days before your voyage. Now, it's not quite like a Disney World vacation. You're still locked in at that 30-day mark like you were with STARCRUISER, but they just shortened it up. So previously,
I think this is to the guest benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because before you were locked in, like, you know, at a very long period of time, which it was more like a cruise,
like a real cruise.
And again, we didn't worry because we're like, oh, we know we're going, but it locked people in, and where if it was a big cost, and their life changes happen, and it became more cumbersome. Whereas now there's a little bit more leeway. Yeah. And I think it's a more win-win. Like, you have people saying, okay, I don't have to make that big financial decision like way ahead of time and get locked into it. You kind of could get closer to it and say, you know what, I think we could do it.
Yeah. And it's effective immediately too. So you are still locked in. So I'll go through my travel agent spiel like I used to do, because I'm going to have to like update this now. I've gotten so used to in my head.
I'll put it to you so I can read chat.
To saying these numbers over and over and over. But essentially how it used to operate prior to today is you made your final payment at which way is the right way? I don't know how it would be. You're going this way. 90 days before your voyage, you're making your final payment. If you were to cancel your voyage between 90 days and 30 days before your voyage, you're losing 50% of your package price. And if you were to cancel 30 days to your voyage date, you're losing 100% of your package price. And then there's like some change fees, and like it's a $350 change fee. Basically, if you're modifying your voyage to lose money, that's still around. But essentially what they've done is taken all of that and they've just cut out this 30 to 90 day window, and everything happens in that 30 to 0 day window now. So final payment is 30 days before your voyage. You are 100% locked in at that point. If something happens and you cannot make it, you lose 100% of your package price. If you have to change your date, if you have to cancel, 100% penalty, which is how it was yesterday. And then same with the $350 change fee. That's still applicable. So trip insurance, still worth it when you're spending that much money on STARCRUISER, because it's really not that much more.
Yeah.
But those are massive changes, because the other thing is you're now able to book your activities before you make your final payment. Just like a Disney World vacation. But trust me, I had to go change all of my templates, all of my emails, like everything that I typically have, like all of my automations and things that I have in the background. I spent a lot of time today, like going through, like updating graphics and doing all these things, and it's done. And everything that went out today is like fresh and correct and up to date and wonderful. But yeah, it was a little bit of a
timeshares at Housen.
Timeshares. I would DVC that for sure. Dana was like, you should learn DVC and like speak to it. And I'm like, I can't sell it. I'm not going to buy it anytime soon. Like, we could talk about it, but like, it's just this big old mystery box to me. But once they put STARCRUISER on there, best believe we are buying contracts or whatever it is they are that you're supposed to do.
Getting some points or some coins.
Bitcoins. I don't know what they are. Let's see. Yeah, JPF. My voyage almost got interrupted by work. I told my boss that's fine, but you're gonna pay $5,000. The company's gonna pay $5,000. Was I talking to Sarah GPT? It's a little secret. Some of my emails I wrote months ago. Does the 30 days affect the 60-day available to buy merch timeline too? That's a really interesting point, because you could book a voyage and go buy all of those costumes and then just cancel your voyage after you get it. As long as you ordered at the 60-day. I think, Nate, you figured out a very expensive, complex way. You know what? They're going to take it away from us now that we've said it out loud.
Thanks a lot, Nate.
Thanks a lot. But yeah, I mean, technically you could. But you can do all those things at 60 days. You can book your portrait session, your image design, which the one image design that I have booked that I mentioned in our video today, they canceled it today. So I've literally never booked an image design now.
I said no.
I'm net zero at this point. Right. Don't come to me if you're going to do that. That's a lot of work for me. Can't imagine the cost of a DVC conversion rate, but they do have it, so you can book it through DVC. You can book it with points, and that is what I typically use to estimate my prices.
I mean,
Mostly accurate.
they there is a conversion rate, but it's just not an easy one.
Not an easy one. It's not. Yeah.
And it's not like apples to apples.
It's like the 7-day free trial. They want you to forget it, and then you're going to STARCRUISER. I mean, whoops. It's like, oh man, we got another one of these in the mail. Like,
So
what are the? We don't do a lot of subscriptions.
no.
HelloFresh. I wouldn't mind having a subscription to STARCRUISER though. Like if I just paid an obscene amount of money every month, and every
Well,
like
but
6
didn't
months
they-
you get to go.
Talking about that, like, didn't they have a lot of the merch discounted recently?
Not a lot of the merch, but like the lightsaber shields, I think were in Batu, where it was like if you bought a legacy lightsaber, you got a shield for free.
Okay, so I was thinking is like maybe they're the stuff that you can buy, you know,
Making it more
phasing that
available.
out where whatever's there is what you can buy,
No, it was more
and kind of dividing the line so it doesn't matter. 60 days you can, but you could buy on Shop Disney all the time.
Right. No, they still have it pretty locked down that you can't do that. Oh, we could go buy stuff if we wanted.
Right now.
Yeah. For our voyage, because we are past the 60-day mark for our voyage.
Speaking of that,
what?
the StarCruiser SAM card, I need to get with Hondo because I've had this idea
He's in here.
of like
Mike.
doing a passport with like the
We should
ID
do-
cards.
That's what we should do.
Wouldn't
for
that be a
this
cool idea?
voyage.
Like somehow have like where you could add tokens to it of like your voyages.
That would be fun. Honestly, that's what we should
Dang
do.
it! I shouldn't have said it out loud.
Well, now we're here. We're making the deal live. See, he said fine. That's like a virtual handshake. But seriously, though, we've talked about doing this, like doing some.
But have like
Everybody does
so,
giveaways and stuff. but-
Mike, like on the back, like they're hex or some kind of shape where it's
It's like when you go get
like
a
a
snow
grid
cone,
type of thing. And yeah, well, but you could actually have
like a physical,
a
like
physical merit badge type of thing.
engraved date tokens. That would be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So then every time you go, you could just boom, 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 stamp it.
Honestly, like, I mean, it would be really good.
Dang it.
Now we have to do it.
Yeah. Well,
We've talked
look,
about
this is
this,
like a
like,
perfect
off and
like
on.
transition because there's going to be other creators like Scott.
Oh, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah.
thing? You don't want to talk about this thing?
Not yet.
Okay. I mean, I'm thirsty.
So prop right if
Which
you
one do you want? This one?
either one.
Okay.
So prop right if you haven't caught him on there on Instagram, he put together this sweet little gauntlet for the
Magic Band Plus.
Magic Band Plus. And oh my
really
gosh,
good.
like the quality on it is fantastic.
Yeah, it's like super smooth.
The only thing I got to figure out is how to get it. I'm gonna have to get like cosplay, like how to actually
Like, you're gonna
adhere
have
it
to
to
mount
it.
it, yeah.
But I don't want to like mess it up. So I have to figure out a way that I could get it on and take it off if I need to.
Dude, and he shipped this fast. Like, he got these over to
Yeah.
us super quick. But it has like little missiles in it.
We'll do. This is mine.
Yeah.
When I get close, or here, we'll put it to yours, and then
Oh.
have a nice like.
Hide my face. Ooh. Look at that. And little bullets come out. And then it's just like a twist knob to get to the puck to charge it.
Yeah, there's some Velcro. Yeah, I need a.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they came out so great.
The
I'm
quality
super
is amazing.
excited. Yeah,
He did a really,
I
really
need
good
to.
job
I
on
need
these.
to paint them, but
We saw these and we're like, oh,
I was like,
to have them. But then he was kind enough to send along something else because he sent us like prototypes before to just kind of like test out and see. But it is, so this is our kids' Magic Band, like the Bounty Hunter one. But it's this little snap. I'll have my face again. There it is. It's this little snap cover that goes over the puck piece of it, so it looks a little more in universe. Somebody's gonna come into our live stream and it's just a bunch of hands. But it came like he had it painted like that.
And it's nice because it like pops off like super easy.
It scares me.
It scares me.
But the finish work on it and everything's really good. Like the painting, it's really. I was like, because he told me, he said it's for smaller wrists, like either like a small adult wrist, but mostly for kids.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I got one of those.
I got both of those. But then we got it and we put it on the Magic Band and we were like, ooh, I kind of like this for me. So that was super cool. That was fun mail that we got.
So Grant, would you prefer the timeline on StarCruiser to be in the prequels or the sequels?
For me, it really doesn't matter because StarCruiser just kind of exists as it is, and like the tie-ins that it does have to the timeline to me are not.
I think the cool thing, like the comic book, it was a great display of how this ship has gone through, and again, the timeline where it's at, it has history.
275 years of it.
Yeah. So the fact that they're able to say, hey, the Hutts had it at one time and it didn't look like this, you could only imagine like, oh man, like how was it, or how did it look when the Hutts had it? They probably had the whole atrium full of, I want to say craps tables, but some whatever betting tables that they had out there. Jabba just like right there in the middle in front of the elevators or whatever. It's just one of those things like you could just, imagine.
Burries on there. Prop Right Props. Thank you, Mike, for posting those. Yes, Prop Right Props. He is wonderful. A lot of spice.
Yeah, just all in the air.
Yeah, but.
And then, reading Princess and Scoundrel, like of the time when.
Don't we have it up here? But no, I think it's.
But just like the different times. So I think the space lends itself to any of the times.
Yeah.
And
it's been there the entire time. We just didn't know about it until now.
But as far as like which period, it's more of like, okay, who are you going to see? Are you going to see, clone troopers, or you're going to see,
that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. But it would be it'd
be a completely different story.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they take it in the future. Put a casino on the ship. Put a Rancor on StarCruiser. Everybody
change
wins.
the climate simulator, whatever. Again, we got to think about like if you were to change things, you can't change it too much. And this brought up.
Oh boy.
Well, no. This makes me think, and this is again what I've said about Disney and how their thinking is there's a great interview. I wanted to talk about it last time, but there's a great interview that Favreau did with. I cannot remember right now. I think it was the Cyber Nerds.
That sounds right.
But he did an interview. The guy was interviewing him. They do a lot of like React videos. And Favreau flipped it on him. He's like, okay, hey, I want to ask you some questions. Like he's asking the fans.
Oh, yeah.
And he's basically telling the PR person, hey, we're going to give him a couple more minutes. Like, what do you think about this? And some of the things that he's kind of alluding to is Disney is when they create these shows, they're in a difficult spot in the sense that they have to cater to the person that's obsessed with all these things, these properties, and the person that has no idea. But we have to entertain both. Yeah. We have to appeal to both.
And you have to pull both of them along.
And they both have to enjoy it.
Yep.
And I think that's the you could go put a Rancor, but our kid's gonna be able to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Or our, family's gonna understand what is this big beast, know. So I think that's the part is like they have to make it where, or just the same thing when we saw Grogu at the first time, it was Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And even to this day, it's, within the community, when the people that are in the know, it's sarcastically Baby Yoda.
I know tides are changing now.
But
so if you say it, people are like, it's
but again, it's kind of like, or the whole who shot first. There's people that don't know, and people that say it sarcastically, and you're kind of like, wait, are you saying it sarcastically, or are you saying it because you grew up of the special edition time, or, you know? So it's one of those things that there are the obsessed, and you have to appeal to them, but there's also the no knowledge, and it has to appeal to them too.
Yeah, and they do a fantastic job of it on STARCRUISER. Like, truly, the fact that we love it so much, and we get so much out of it, but then I talk to people that aren't as into it, and they're like, this seems like something cool to do. We like Star Wars. But maybe they do call him Baby Yoda, and it's like, you're still going to have a fantastic time. Or I have another fellow travel agent at the agency, and she was like, I have absolutely no interest in doing this. And she got to go on it, and she was like, oh my God.
Because it's just it's just the experience.
Yeah. She was like, this is the best thing I have ever done in a Disney park. And I was like, I know.
No Raptors.
Oh, I need to sneeze.
Oh, that would be pretty good. Nate.
Oh, I can't. I've got to catch up.
Adding automated characters.
Make him shrug Jabor. What?
See, that'd be good for like the engineering room, having like a loth cat, or like it's like a transport, not necessarily just it's engineering and transport.
Well, that's what cargo bay, like on the Disney Wish.
Yeah, they
have this like cargo bay.
So they're
one
just
day,
like,
if we ever went on a cruise, maybe we could go see it.
Yeah.
But they have like loth cats. They've got porgs in cages and stuff, and so you're just like literally in a ship just exploring the cargo bay. They have that.
So just bring some of that.
Go over to a cruise, like a real cruise ship, to do it, not a pretend space cruise that we love. Caitlin, you're so sweet, showing up late and then telling everybody what to do.
Put the characters in the park. That would be cool.
We've talked about them. So Steven made the funniest. It's the funniest reel that you've made. The one that you have that is ready to go right now is pretty good too, but that one's not. Like this one, you put so much time editing it. It was fantastic. And
I didn't. No. This one, it wasn't.
That one made me laugh.
It wasn't a lot of time. It was literally like a joke put together, and you're like, I love it. Put it, post it.
And it like, and then we got Mike talking about how Mike was on Hondo Supply was on,
and that thing just like takes off still.
I think it's close to like 1 million views at this point. I'm like, our faces literally are not in that clip at all. It's just Mike, and so people follow us thinking that it's
pretty
Mike,
faces over there.
No, sorry, you got us instead. But yeah, I'm gonna go repost that one because that one was such a good one. Just kind of like, I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail that you created for this live.
I see. I put some thought into
You did. It made me laugh. That was a good one. And I'm very glad that we're in this like tiny little era of time, because who knows what it's going to be like for the next episode, where you're not putting my ridiculous faces on the thumbnails for every single video. Like I've got a little break, just like STARCRUISER, taking a little midweek break, mid-season break, and then I'm sure they'll come back. And
I just got to start stocking up again. That's why.
I know. That's what you get.
So I think it's time. I'm not like crazy about this.
Okay. Let's prime the situation.
Oh my God.
So there have been a few posts on the interwebs that there is a drink out there that tastes like blue milk, and your girl Betty has to try it if it tastes like blue milk, because when we make blue milk at home, you got to get the bantha, you got to raise the bantha. It's a lot of work, and so I saw it a couple times. Dano was like, "Have you seen this?" And I happened to be going to the grocery store today anyway, so I was like, let me go see. They were sold out of the official one, but it is the one that we have is the Prime Energy drink in blue raspberry. It's supposed to be the hydration drink, so I don't know that this is going to be even anywhere close to it. What did I say? Did I mock
Star Wars
you? Sorry.
IRL made a good point that the STARCRUISER bread. Yeah, Danny. I mean, that's the thing. Is like we get dressed up, we start walking around Batu, and people are You excited to see us?
All right.
Brent, that'd be awesome to have Wraith.
There's no way no. Ugh.
No.
It is incredibly. Oh my. It's like remember when we made that Jolly Rancher?
No, it's
vodka?
like a Mountain Dew. That's what it feels like.
Is that what Mountain Dew tastes? I've never had Mountain Dew.
Well, it's a blue raspberry, but it's like carbonated.
It tastes like a blue Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
Like exactly like a blue Jolly Rancher.
It kind of reminds me of, okay, so blue Jolly Rancher and what's not, I wouldn't say like a true, no.
There's a little bit of a Skittle taste.
I don't think
at
so.
the end of it.
But the carbonation it reminds me like of a Truly or
yeah, like
it's carbonated, but it's weird carbonated. Yeah,
it's only 10.
It's
calories.
a no for me, dog.
I'm not gonna keep drinking that because it's late o'clock and I'm not about energy drinks.
Grand.
Our faces are priceless. There you go. You got fodder for the next thumbnail.
There you go.
He just tried it.
I tried it. I just
At
took
the
a little
same
sip.
time.
Here, look, as proof. Nate, I think it's more like a White Claw. It's just like real, like sharp.
Well, the thing is too is that it only has 10 calories and it's like incredibly sweet. And I think it's just like the aspartame or whatever in it, like whatever sweetener they put in it. There's just a lot of it.
It was that quick. So yeah, I would not say that's blue milk.
It's definitely not blue milk. It's nowhere near close to blue milk. We don't drink energy drinks just like ever, but we also have not been eating sweets.
Yeah, that too.
Like we have not had sweets in probably like 2.5 months. So that's just like, I have a sweet tooth and that's like too sweet for me.
So
But it's not bad. It doesn't taste terrible. It tastes like a White Claw.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a blue raspberry White Claw.
Yeah. What's the first drink you each are getting? Whatever anybody hands me.
I'm trying to think.
I keep talking about the crate reactor. Do we just carry that
start
around
with
the
that?
atrium?
Hey, what if we just like bring our own? We're like, no. We brought our own. Just fill her up.
Can we get...
Like put it up to the faucet and just fill it up.
Do you think they would let us take the crate reactor in the atrium? Because if so, we just do that.
But it doesn't have like a handle. I don't think. Oh no, it doesn't. It does have a handle.
I'm gonna reach out to some chemist friends and see what the stipulations are. You can bring bottles on the cruise. I think I would probably. Dana's gonna do a Mandalorian sling. I'll probably go with a Silver Sea Martini. I like that. It's not too sweet. Look at me. Who am I? I love sweets. I have the biggest sweet tooth in the world, and now I don't.
Scott, how could you guys forget? I guess so. No one ordered it.
Oh no.
Scott was just having a good time. That's what it was.
Scott had the best time. Like, I get
I was
so
like
sad,
just
but
like this watching.
just
I was
jumped
like,
into Justin's arms. Just like, look at them. Sorry, Rafe Cole's arms. I'm like, look how cute they are. It's like, I want to be there. I want to be taking that picture like a little mom. Like, oh my God, okay, now turn a little bit. Okay, like that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be there and witness like them having just pure joy. Like I get a little sad. Like I'm so happy when I see people on STARCRUISER, but I also get a little sad that I'm like,
I'm
not me.
Yeah.
But watching Scott's voyage was just wonderful. Yeah, the crate reactor is amazing. I don't know that they have it on the menu. They probably do by now.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget that there is a menu over there. It's more just like
Whatever you got.
Just bring it over.
I had glitter beer last time. They had just perfected how to make beer like shimmery without it affecting the taste at all. And I was close with one of the chemists, so she was like, "Here you go." And I was like, "Is that shimmering?" She's like, "It is." It's like, okay, just keep bringing me beers then. No sugar. Stephen and Sarah are gonna have one drink and get wrecked on StarCruiser. I'm so worried about my alcohol consumption on StarCruiser.
I'm not.
Well, I just haven't been drinking that much lately.
No, we have been doing well in our
Side tangent. Let's talk about our
New Year's
well-being.
intentions. We've been doing well. That's all I want to say is
We've done well.
so.
Air 5. You don't have to touch me this
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it's gonna be, but we're gonna go all out on STARCRUISER. Don't you worry. I'm gonna eat all the desserts, all the everything.
We're on vacation, so
Steven's always ready to party. It's me. I'm just like a little lightweight.
see, this mic is where you're gonna, because we're talking about it, that hey, STARCRUISER's going to 2 days, and you haven't been in a year, and what if they change it? Mike's gonna miss out.
Oh, he's been.
I just want to.
Don't make him feel bad. We'll see Mike at Mosh.
Gotta throw like that little mom guilt there.
Oh God, no. We are not doing a competition between Dano and Steven. Absolutely not. I'm on a kidless voyage. Y'all start drinking. I'm like, Mom's out. Y'all worry about your own selves. Oh man. But no. So yeah, the big two STARCRUISER changes, which what we really wanted to talk about, down to the 2 voyages, the whole 30-day payment policy. I think they're good things. I'm upset about how it affects people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
But I think from a business perspective and from a consumer perspective, it was the right move. I think if you started discounting it, that's not going to work out because people are going to expect discounts. And so when you're not offering a discount, they're not going to go.
Yeah.
Slowing down the demand, lessening the demand is the way to do it. And that's going to make them more money in the long run. And then they'll do discounts eventually and, but they'll be short-lived discounts. It's not going to be all the time. It's not going to be like Disney World where most of the time you can usually get a discount on something. Like when you go to like Michael's and they're like, well, it's 40% off. And it's like, it's always 40% off. You just mark the price up. Galen, they don't know. I mean, you guys aren't bad drunks. You never go like super hard anyway.
It's I from the college days of getting that wasted. It's always like you get to that point and you're like, oh, never getting to that point again. So you just like your level.
Gets less and less each time, right? So now we're like, well, we're gonna get crazy, and it's like 4 drinks.
A whiff, you're like, oh.
That's basically me at this point. Like we did the drink tasting, and by the end of it, I was like, I need carbs. We had to go eat the second lunch. Remember?
Oh yeah, we did.
We did go eat a second lunch, and then you ended up playing in the Spock tournament
for like a round.
Well, and the reason you played in the Spock tournament is because our friend, he was one of the passengers on our first voyage.
Oh yeah, he was like
he started working on STARCRUISER and he was running the tournament and you were like, oh, it's Andrew. And you just like beelined over there and I was like, I'm just gonna keep eating I forget what they were even, my little sun butter and jelly buns. I was just sitting there eating, all happy.
Yeah.
And then we went and had pictures taken. Marines drink a lot.
Get all that.
Oh, Nate's
Pace
leaving.
yourself.
Go have fun at dinner.
So long, Nate.
We knew you when.
But yes, new episode tonight. So
new episodes tonight. 2 new episodes.
Yeah, go check out Dano tonight because he's going to be watching.
Dano's doing a live stream. I heard he's going to have some special guests.
Oh.
So he does his watch parties everybody here knows Dano. I don't need to hype him up, but if you're not, maybe you're like silently lurking. Dano does watch parties every single Tuesday and watches whatever Star Wars there is. If it's new Star Wars, he watches new Star Wars. If there's not, then he watches just something old to like gear up for the next thing. So probably once Bad Batch and Mandalorian are done, he'll probably be watching Rebels to lead up to Ahsoka.
Oh, speaking of shows, did you see that the Kevin Feige, Patty Jenkins movie is no more?
Really? Was it the Rebel Squadron?
Rogue
Squadron?
No, I think it was the pilot's one, whatever it was.
Yeah, wasn't that Squadron? Something Squadron.
No, I don't know. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, I saw that, and then something about Taika's movie.
What about it?
Like it's still going, and I think he's supposed to be leading it, which I thought it was already announced that, but
I thought he was directing it, right?
yeah, he's directing it, but he was also the lead.
Oh, he's starring in it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think that was.
But that's
new,
Taika,
But
like
he's in everything.
That he makes.
Bible cheese bread. It was bubble cheese bread. What Rogue Squadron? Oh, there were two separate ones. There was a Patty Jenkins and a Kevin Feige.
Oh, okay.
That's not the best news. Interesting. I think they're probably trying to lean away from movies because they're seeing such success with Disney Plus.
I haven't seen Top Gun, the new Top Gun movie.
Have you seen the old one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen either.
That's like a...
Don't tell Adam or Ryan. Because he's doing a lot of Top Gun memes right now on Thank the Maker. And I'm just like, no context, but I like it.
But the new one, I saw a couple, like, basically clips of the movie. You know, my life now is just consumption in clip form.
It's TikTok format.
But man, there was like a flight scene that was just like intense. And if they were able to translate that to like X-Wing pilots, it would work. It doesn't have to be, you know, again, what people get upset about, the lightsabers. You could have a pilot, but have a good, you know.
Just like Mandalorian.
Yeah, good pilot story.
Right.
So
I think you could do it. I know we're the worst. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I need to see the new one.
I need to see the old one. We have too much on our plate right now. We started The Last of Us last week.
Yeah, we gotta watch that.
We made it through one episode.
We're keeping up with Star Wars, like
we have to. It's like
so
required.
That's for sure.
It's like breathing. Like if you don't watch Star Wars within the first 24 hours of it dropping.
Yeah, I don't want it ruined. So
yeah, that's the main thing. Is like, and that's where it's kind of not frustrating, but it feels like pressure. Is before we were like had a podcast and we were like posting all the time and had all these internet friends that were really into Star Wars, we could wait and not feel bad. Like Bad Batch used to come out on Fridays, remember?
Well, I think it just came out on a better day. Like having
Fridays
it on Friday.
Just better days to me because we don't have lives. So Fridays are nice because we don't have to go to bed early. But we used to like, we wouldn't watch it Friday, like purposefully wouldn't watch it Friday, and then we would wake up Sunday or Saturday morning and make pancakes and watch Bad Batch. Like that's just like a core memory of mine. But now it's like in the middle of the week. It's on a Wednesday, and now we have 2 shows right now going on.
Yeah, for a little while, but
we're busy during the week, so
yeah,
it feels like a lot.
They got both.
Fly United. I don't know, something about watching a show about or a show or a movie about flying while you're on a plane. Nope. It was wonderful.
I know, like there was no, again, context clues. I think there was no bad guy in the new Top Gun. It was just like AI basically, like the drones. I think that's what they were. You know, the conflict was.
Gotcha.
So again, it was just like intense flying. You're just kind of like, ooh.
Ooh, from the West Coast. Got some West Coasters in here. Yeah. It's early for you guys. It's our bedtime over here.
Afternoon, you're at lunch right now, huh?
So one of the other things where it's cozy, it is very cozy over there. One of the other things we didn't even mention yet is the presence of Mando and Grogu at Galaxy's Edge. Yeah. Right now.
Literally after we talked about it. Again, thank you, Disney, for watching us and hanging out with us.
We have it in the video.
But
we mentioned it.
But it's like, it's like right after.
We mentioned it very strategically. We definitely filmed that after Grogu and Mando were in the parks. But yeah, so here's where things get weird. And We were going to wait to talk about it on the next live. Technically, we should not even be live right now. We shouldn't be here. Normally, we would go live the following Wednesday after an episode, which would be next Wednesday. But
so we could have the news or whatever.
Right, so we talk about all the things that happened since our last one. But so many things have already happened. So we decided to go live today with all of the STARCRUISER news because, like, I obsess over STARCRUISER. It's literally all I've talked about.
Yeah, all today.
All today. You're talking to me about other stuff, and I'm like, yes, but STARCRUISER. Can we go back to this, please? Because this is important. Which I talked about STARCRUISER, maybe 90% of the time?
So from talking about Grogu, talking about Mando at East, I saw, again, it's nuts. It's just packed. It's super full.
Still like that?
I think so. I think he just gets like inundated with people. But I saw, and I believe it. It was a TikToker. I don't remember his name, but he was going through. He's like, yes, it is packed. He was there day one. He lives in Orlando, but they're conscious about the timeline from STARCRUISER. So he comes out from that side area by the marketplace. He goes in the marketplace and only goes to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then comes back.
Yeah.
So he is in the marketplace, it get where the spires at is packed anyways, but he's only in that little section. So he doesn't go over to the other end, like where the First Order area is at, where I think on West is where he comes out of.
Is that true? Because I thought I had heard that like Fennec Shand and Boba were, and I don't remember if that's true for Mando or not, but that they only are in the marketplace. They don't really roam around too far, like too close.
But I think they come out from that First Order area.
Do they?
From that little side entrance, from their third entrance, I think.
Yeah, Boba Fennec and Din don't leave the market. Yeah, that's the time bubble, right? Like the marketplace is kind of like this, just like a little time warp when you walk in the marketplace. So I don't think they're being.
Where do they come out from? Okay, so they don't come out for the First Order. Well, again, we don't know as far as West. I'm trying to put piece together, but
yeah,
when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like they're only letting them.
I think the reason that they keep them tucked to the marketplace too is because the other characters and kind of like the general story of Batuu is happening on the Resistance side and the First Order side, and you never really saw any characters in the marketplace anyway, so it's kind of like this little sectioned off, like a section of it that can have them there without interacting with, say, like you're not going to have.
Just got to keep Vi out of there because she kind of
and Kylo or something.
She kind of goes wild.
It's all over the place, man. I had a really fun interaction with Vi last time I was there. Okay, right by the little Ray's little garage thing. I mean, by the Batuu bounty hunt. And Jay's in here, the crucial crew member from the Halcyon fame. That's why I want to talk about this is like, how are they going to, do they care? Do they even really care at this point? Or are they just like, Mando and Grogu are such a hit that we have to bring them to East to continue to draw new people to Galaxy's Edge? And maybe they're using it as like somewhat of a marketing tactic to get people excited about Star Wars at the park and then upsell to STARCRUISER? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be more like true business. Did they need Mando and Grogu?
Yeah.
Like, I think it was drumming up news because it was like when it happened, Mando just dropped and he's at the park. That's every news, news outlet was talking about that.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about,
our little bubble of the internet.
Yeah, our bubble of the internet. But that's what they're talking about.
Right.
Did it affect people saying, oh, I'm going to book a trip today? I don't know.
I made that real joking that I was like, I've got to book flights immediately. I didn't tell anybody. That was like old footage from like back when STARCRUISER first went on sale. I was like, oh, I have the perfect video to put over this. But we have been like very adamant that...
That's true, Scott.
What is it?
I think seeing Mando breaks less immersion than seeing tourists with strollers.
That's a very good point. But I lost where I was going with this. We've been pretty adamant that keeping the timeline the way it is has to stay that way because of STARCRUISER.
Yeah.
And that was one of our points for why Batu East was elite, because they held the timeline. And now Mando and Grogu are there, and it's like, well, can we just turn this into a point for East now? Because we're like, well, I mean, we've got Grogu too.
I think if they got to a point where they saw a significant decrease in attendance, business-wise, put it in a show, put it in a movie, put it in some kind of TV media, and you're going to see an uptick. I'm thinking with my business brain, that's how you sell tickets.
Which, on that, and that's another thing that we've speculated pretty hard on in this household, is STARCRUISER's got dark voyages. Now it's going to be dark for a few days every week. Does this open it up for filming locations?
I don't know.
I'm hoping we see Batu in the new season of Mando.
I mean, he could have made a stop when he was stopping everywhere else.
But Halcyon keeps butting into bigger Star Wars stories, right? Like, we have the comics, we have the book. I know Mike keeps saying
Well, I'm still
Mike's wild.
I'm still thinking we saw Mike out there day one of Mando, because he doesn't go to Hollywood studios ever. We see him out there the day before, and then all of a sudden we see.
And then the next day, Mando's there.
Yeah, so I think that was his.
Not in the same
we got to check his
place.
markings to make sure, see if it was him or not.
We've never seen Mike and the Mandalorian in the same place at the same time. Mubo seems to be a good place for an IG memory chip. That's very true. I think Halcyon eventually will make its way to mainstream media. But I also think they might be just waiting to see. I think it goes two ways. They might be waiting to see, is this viable? Is this something that we invest, putting into officially into canon, screen canon? It is canon, absolutely. Or do they try to do it let's synergize and put it in something early so that people are like, I could go to there?
But I think that's the thing is we may not see it. We may just hear, just some off comment of oh, what, you think this is a vacation on the Halcyon?
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're kind of hey.
I've been on a vacation on the Halcyon.
But I think that's that little throwaway that they could get, and it just solidifies it.
If they did anything live action High Republic, I bet they do it. Probably. I mean, they could put it, but that's the thing. It's been around for 275 years. Technically 276 now, since we just had a birthday. But they could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batu and Doc Anders does get mentioned in Solo during the party, right?
So I think that's the thing is if they really wanted to, they can.
You sound like those TikToks of when girls are talking about boyfriends. If he wanted to, he would.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why they're saying it.
Oh, Doc Anders at the party? How do I not remember that? I feel like we watched Solo fairly recently too.
Go watch it again.
I could do that. We've been watching Bad Batch, rewatching
it. Yeah,
season of Bad Batch lately.
It's good.
Can they say
Thanks, Scott.
Chandrilla? Can they say Chandrilla one more time on Andor and not say something about STARCRUISER? I mean, that's what it kind of feels like, right?
Yeah. I thought they were going to say it.
I'm waiting. The day that it happens, I'm just going to be like a proud mom. They said my baby's name. I'm going to be like you because you were over there taking pictures of the TV earlier. That's going to be me.
It's because you can't screenshot. Sorry.
Okay. No, you truly can't. Yeah, it's just been it's been a lot. There's been a lot going on this last week in terms of Star Wars and STARCRUISER.
Well, I think the thing too on Jay on that, like hoping that she would use it. So in Princess and Scoundrel, that like she uses that as in the book. She uses that as the catalyst of her mission.
Yes.
So that is like, a big point of why they're there.
Yeah.
So yes, she could use it, but you don't want to overuse it either.
Yeah. Anonymous person, all I can offer you is a mom moshma appearance. No, I'm not going to do that for StarCruiser. That's for Mosh. It's been overwhelming amounts of Star Wars news this last week. And then just for like me personally too, we had our 60-day mark for our voyage, for our big, like, Dano said we need to come up with a name for it.
Yeah.
He came up with something like really silly and alliterative, and it was like Sarah's Super Star Cruiser. But it was like 8 or 9 words, and I was like,
babe, shorten it up.
No, tighten it up. But yeah, so our big like Star Cruiser, we've been calling it just Star Cruiser Takeover, just because we haven't thought of like a cooler name for it. But we're doing
we need a name.
We need a cool name, but it's basically it is essentially a Star Cruiser Takeover. There's a ton of us
Celebration
going.
too. I wonder if there's going to be any news coming from Celebration.
I think we heard there's going to be movie announcements. So maybe that's why they're telling us, like, don't ask about these because they're not happening, and then we'll focus on the positives at Celebration. That's
so they're killing it now, and that way, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that our 60-day mark, thank God it opened on a Saturday when I wasn't working, because those were long phone calls to try to get through all
predictions
of
from Mando,
the bookings. We'll see Mando. We'll see Grogu.
Another season, right? I think that's been confirmed.
No, he's saying for episode 2. Grant's saying
for
episode 2.
Oh, yeah. Episode 2.
Grant, I'm going to be real honest with you. Like, I don't speculate too much on those things because, and this is why, I don't like to be spoiled.
I think, yeah, I don't mind, but I think on this, and I haven't read anything or looked up, like, teasers or leaks or anything. The first episode, it was setting up so much that there's no
like 6 different things.
Yeah,
it felt like a little.
There's no like, oh, like this is where they're leaning. It's just he's gonna go to Mandalore at some point. So is it gonna be now or is he gonna build up his team, type of thing or whatever?
Yeah.
Ahsoka. So excited for that.
Celebration is before we go. It is April 7th through 10th.
Sounds right.
I think so. We're not going. I would love to go. But it's just too far. Do we like Mando or Sabine? Yes. I like all Star Wars. Star Wars is Star Wars. I love it all. Could someone explain to me how one bathes in the waters of a mine but also does not remove your helmet? By that sentiment, how do they bathe, period? Oh, stanky.
Well, so the other part of it, is it not removing it or not removing it and being seen?
That's so in the first season, they made it seem like when he was on that like farm planet, they made it seem like it was removing it and not being seen.
Yeah.
But then lately when they're talking about like the creed and all of this stuff and the way whatever the watch is like, you will not remove your helmet.
So you got to eat through straws.
What are you eating? Yeah. See, he took it off.
So I think that's more realistic. It's just you can't be seen. Like, and there's like, if you think about it, what it could be is kind of that whole, I'm thinking Princess Bride, but just like that trope of you don't know, like the Mando is bigger than than Din. So the Mando could live on with other.
What is it, Dread Pirate Roberts?
Yeah. So like he could live on without, and that's that is the thinking, is like the Mandalorian's like, it could be one that he was the hero one, but he was just like internally replaced.
That's a good point.
So
yeah, you have to trim your mustache too. How do you blow your nose? What if you're sick? I don't know. Somebody said, I think I missed it. Jay said he'll be our on-site correspondent. I really hope you will. Like, I'm going to have so much FOMO not being at Celebration this year because it was such a blast last year.
Yeah.
It's just like, I can't do London and STARCRUISER. Our poor wallets. It'd be fun. It'd be nice. You're like, we couldn't. It'd be nice, though. I did see somebody on there, I don't see it anymore, about ordering their Narkina 5 jumpsuits. So we're doing like a little one-way out event on Star. We've got a lot of little events scheduled for the STARCRUISER takeover that we're doing to make it fun, but not impact the story in any way. We're not trying to like throw actors off or do anything like that. Like everything that we're doing is just trying to like enhance the experience when there isn't story elements going on.
I think that's the thing though, is like, it's nothing, none of this is required.
No.
And I think these are just like, oh, like here I have like a cool idea. And because again, the groups are kind of like piecemealing, oh, what if I did this? And then it kind of becomes a game or becomes some kind of like this other little story. And that was like the whole Narkina 5 thing. We were kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we just like, you know,
we rolled out with like
when everything's shut down, kind of like, because they look like PJs, like when everybody's asleep and that's when they escape. So it's like, wouldn't it be funny if like that's when we were supposed to be sleeping, quote unquote sleeping, and you know everybody comes out with their jumpsuits. So again, it's just like a funny a joke that we're like, we should do it.
Yeah, so we've got extra Narkina 5 jumpsuits on the way too. We bought extras. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Scott, you need to sneak on somehow. But yeah, so we've got that going on. I organized what we're officially calling Gaia's Fan Club now. It's like an Oga's takeover.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people from our voyage are wanting to do like a takeover at Oga's on May the 4th, which is awesome. Like, that's the place you want to be.
Which I wish they would just like let the groups take over.
I know. Yeah. So they won't let you do a group reservation for Oga's through STARCRUISER. So I had to book every single cabin that wanted to go individually, and you can do it in like 5-minute increments, but there's only so much allotted per 5. And I've learned so much about the math and the breakdown of STARCRUISER allotments for Oga's and normal public allotment for Oga's. And I can tell you when the ones for the public sold out. I can tell you way too much information about what is happening on Oga's that day from a logistics standpoint. We're not doing Oga's. Like, you and I personally are not going to go do Oga's, but there's a lot of people that are going to do what I dubbed the Gaia's Fan Club. I was like, everybody I'm booking them under this Gaia's Fan Club. So they put everybody together. But we've got that. We've got some group pictures that we're doing. We've got these like secret side missions that cruisers are, and Patrick's in here. He's doing something people are trying to do to enhance the experience. We've got something fun that we have planned for the first night of dinner. Like, really cool stuff that's going on. I'm very excited about it. And right now, what I'm seeing is all the swag.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's coming with swag. I'm like, I'm going to have to like pack some saddlebags so I can collect all these things, because what everybody's doing looks so good. Yeah. I'm so excited for it.
I think it's similar like to going to a celebration, but just the creativity that the community has is amazing, because it's just like, hey, it may feel like, oh, it's just like a small trinket that it's nothing. It's like, no, this is like awesome. This is, super cool.
Yeah.
And
the fact that people just do it to share their love of Star Wars with other people. It's not something that's like, it's optional. It's not required. You don't have to bring things to pass out. People don't give you things and expect things in return.
Yeah.
Like, I have a whole basket right here of things that people have just like given to us.
Yeah.
Just because they're like, these are cool things and we want you to have them. And that's awesome. And so this time we're finally, hopefully, going to have swag to pass out as well. And the punch cards that apparently you and Mike are...
Not a punch card.
Not a punch card. It's a galactic...
Passport.
Passport.
Baby youngest.
You need to have somebody needs to bring a baby Yongus.
Oh, that would be good, Grant.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I can't wait, but I'm also like, it's getting to the point where it's less than 2 months away, and so I'm getting the sads about it now, where it's like, it's coming. It's soon it'll be here, and then it'll be gone. And it's like something I've been planning for 6 months now. That it's just like, or over 6 months. And I'm just like,
I'm more. Where is that time that we're like worrying about it now gonna go to? Like what's the other thing?
Like when you have your first baby and you're like, where did all my free time go? Like, this is our baby right now. But then we have Mosh. We always have something. And that's the thing is like, we always have something going on. Because I haven't even, you've been working on some Mosh.
It'll come sooner, Grant.
It will. Don't worry about it, Grant. You've got some of your Mosh stuff that you're working on. I haven't even thought that far ahead. I think I'm having to like completely pivot on my costumes. You sat me down and looked me in my eyes and you're like, it's not going to happen, man. Like, not the way you're thinking.
First San Diego and Mosh.
Be our first, not our first Mosh. We've been to them. It'll be our first San Diego Comic-Con, which I'm really excited for that because we tried to buy tickets a long time ago and we couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And it's just harder and harder to get in. So this time, I think we're going to the con. We should be going to the con. We'll see. We've got plans. But yeah. What drink do you recommend for a first-time drinker? That's a tough question. It just completely depends on your preference. I would do something really fruity. All of them, Jason. I would do something like really fruity, like a cocktail that you can't even really taste.
I think what's the margarita one? Outer M.
At Oga's.
Yeah.
That one's a good one.
It's easy.
Great reactor. You're going to scare poor Grant. But I think that's a good place to start winding up. We had a lot of, like I said, we had a lot of STARCRUISER stuff happen today. It was intense, but I feel like now with all these new STARCRUISER, like today was a STARCRUISER release date. We've had 1, 2, 3. This was our 4th one that's happened. This was the least stressful one that I have personally experienced so far. It was wonderful.
It's going to get easier and easier.
Issues. We had some credit card processing issues. We had some incorrect numbers on a few of them, and that's okay. It happens. Like
the Dagobah dream.
But it's wonderful. It's been a great day.
Get to work. Guys, go take a break. Go get something to drink. Get a little snack.
You got time.
Yeah.
I think Dano doesn't usually go live for another couple hours.
1 or 1 hour time, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So
you got a little bit of time.
Go get a snack. Stretch your legs.
Get ready.
And
it was a lot of Star Wars today. There'll be a lot of Star Wars tomorrow too.
All right, keep it going.
Stay up. Yeah, just let the party keep going. Well, thank you. And we will see you next time.